Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Scott.
Hey, yo. Is that his younger brother? It's gonna be
Jeff.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
And you're listening to
all of the great action figures from our good friends at Hasbro.
The Fullyposeable.
Have your own WrestleMania with all your favorite figures.
Wrestling figure.
Each sold separately from LJN.
Podcast.
And we are the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
Hey, welcome to episode 449 of the Fullyposeable Wrestling Figure Podcast, longest running episodic wrestling figure podcast going today. My name is Jeff, and sitting alongside next to me is my real life brother, not storyline brother, Scott. Scott, say hello.
Hello.
Scott joining us for this week of Saying Dude Love, Summer of Saying Dude Love, I should say, is Rob Royce. Rob, how are you doing, man?
Doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Love talking about wrestling figures and long-time listener here.
Oh, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
So I gotta be honest. You're a little bit of a wild card. Introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm just a wrestling figure collector, a wrestling fan at heart. Been a wrestling figure collector for 30 years now.
Sounds familiar.
Now I share that same passion with my son. My son will always be like, "Oh, what do we have this one? Do we have that one?" Figure hunting with my son. We went a couple months ago to all the Walmarts to find the new Monday Night War Series 3.
Did you find them?
We did. Actually, we drove very far away from the house, and it was obviously at the closest Walmart. It ended up being towards where we found them.
That's how it always goes.
Not the Harlem Heat Chase, but everybody else.
Okay.
Nice.
That's the way it always goes, man. You always kind of start at the back and work your way back home, and it's always at the first one. If you would have just jumped there first,
it's
the way
I did go there first, but this is like a day later. Like I just missed it. So I'm like, oh, okay. My wife's like, we waste a lot of gas. I'm like, oh, we didn't waste it. We had an adventure.
See, you considered it waste. I considered it bonding time with my son.
Yes.
We all went. All four of us went too, so we all went.
All right. So I've got to ask, you said you were a wrestling figure collector for the past 30 years. Yep. Has there ever been that one figure that made you do, and Scott and I kind of relate back to this, the Hardy Boy yell, where I saw the Hardy Boys at Bayfair Mall in San Leandro, California. I let out a fangirl scream. Has there ever been figures that made you do that? Like you were kind of like that gasp of, holy crap, I can't believe I just found these.
Not that I was looking for, but we don't. Now that we have the internet, we don't really get surprised by going to the store. I used to find out about new figures by going to the store. Now we don't have that anymore. Like we know what new figures will be there, but like I remember going to Toys R Us. You guys probably do too, and you see new figures you didn't know were coming instead of seeing videos. So mine always collected Hasbros and LJNs, but then there was a drought in between. I know they had the Bendies for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So when we saw the new Jakks bone crunching figures, they were being sold at a house show we went to, and we were super psyched about them.
Whoa!
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, they were sold at the time, which is still pretty expensive for like $20 a piece.
What?
Ouch!
Yeah,
Oof.
for 1996
for bone crunchers.
Jeff wouldn't even pay that now for a bone cruncher.
So I think it was just Sean, Brett, Goldust, and Taker picked them up at a house show.
Okay, actually, I'm intrigued now. Do you remember the house show at all?
So whenever we do a family road trip, my dad would always take us. We'd go to a baseball game. My dad's been to all the major league parks, at least of each team.
Oh, nice.
We go to a baseball game. We do like an amusement park. We do like a landmark thing. And then my dad would try to get into a wrestling show for me because I was the wrestling fan. So we'd always go. So we were in Rhode Island. It was kind of neat. It was like an outside amphitheater. It was a pretty cool show though.
Wow. Do you remember any of the card?
Taker versus Mankind.
Okay.
I know Triple H versus Owen. Vader versus Sid. Can't think of who else. Bulldog wrestled. I don't know who Bulldog wrestled, but we got Bulldog's autograph.
Was Ultimate Warrior supposed to be there?
This is like August of '96, so he might have. It was small.
August of '96. So Scott, that was probably right around the time that we were supposed to see him at the Cow Palace, and he had just bounced back out of WWE. So Scott and I went to a house show back in '96 at the Cow Palace, and Warrior was supposed to be there, and I forget who he was supposed to face, but he ended up bouncing. That was around the time that he said his father passed away or something like that, or
I think it was him and Bulldog, and then I think Sid filled in for him, right?
Or is it him?
Yeah, or Sid came back the same time, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I like that. I like hearing the family bonding trip of like a baseball game, amusement park, and then a wrestling show. I love hearing that.
Yeah, it was always we did it. We did it once before. My dad took us to. We went to Charlotte, North Carolina at one time, and we went and saw a WCW house show at. I forgot the name of the arena now, but it's in Charlotte, and it was Flair and Macho. Like, it's cool just to see Flair and Macho at a house show.
Definitely.
And we met Macho Man at the show too. It was like open, like the parking lot garage was just super open. The wrestlers just came straight up to you.
Whoa!
We got a lot of old pictures of that. So
that's
Macho,
awesome.
Kamala versus Duggan, Sting versus Ming. It was super cool. My dad would always try to get us to those shows too. We'd go to a baseball game. We'd go to a wrestling show, maybe an amusement park, like I said, like a landmark thing. Always every summer.
When you were out on those trips, did you get a wrestling figure too?
Sometimes, yeah, it depends. Sometimes we stopped to buy like a shop because I remember finding some LJNs at like flea markets and stuff.
Yeah. I don't think that will be the last time we'll be talking about LJNs on the show. Everybody knows where to get our shirts, all the Instagrams and the YouTubes and all that stuff. You guys know where that's all at. Rob, do you have any plugs you want to get out of the way?
I don't actually have any plugs. I'm just a fan of the show. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have a podcast. I thought it'd be cool to talk and be on the show.
Oh, we're happy to have you on, man.
Yeah,
heck yeah.
I know
heck yeah.
Sounds kind of lame, but
if you have any questions, direct them right over to Scott. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm the answer man.
Yes, he's the mouthpiece.
Cool.
Rob, have you picked up anything recently?
Recently, well, I went to Ollie's, and whenever I walk through Ollie's, I check out the wrestling figure selection. I know they sometimes have some odd stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Anything good?
The Rey Mysterio, I think it was the greatest hits that looked like the 1960s Batman.
Oh, cool. The gray one, yeah.
$6. I'm like, I can't, not for $6.
That's one I can't believe, Scott, you haven't picked up, dude.
That's cool. I didn't get the Kiss one either, or the Kiss inspired one either. But yeah, I passed on those.
Wait, a Kiss?
Cool.
Wait, a Kiss inspired Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, he had worn that mask on that Raw, and I thought that Mattel had done a figure of him that was kind of reminiscent of that look. Like they couldn't use Kiss makeup, but they kind of did something like it.
Oh,
I passed on that one too.
I don't even remember that. Huh?
No,
I don't. I was actually surprised you didn't get that Batman inspired one because obviously you 60s Batman, 66 Batman. You always talk about it on the show. I thought you'd be all over that one.
No, not really. Not really. Not big with his superhero costume figures.
Oh, okay.
Like, because he did Flash and Captain America. I passed on those two.
I thought those were cool too, dude.
No, I thought they were cool. But
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge Rey Mysterio fan to where I'm like buying a bunch of his figures. So yeah, those are passes for me.
They make the Joker one too? Did they make one, or were they allowed to make the Joker one? Or that ever happened? I know he came out as the Joker, like Joker inspired gear one time, but I don't know if I ever saw a figure of it.
Doing the Rolodex.
I don't recall one.
I don't think they did, and then hopefully somebody will fact check us because, you know, when you're doing this live and you got one take, and sometimes stuff just slips the brain when you're recording.
And they've done 363 Rey Mysterio figures,
roughly,
approximately.
Fill a whole shelf for your display with Rey Mysterio figures. We had to make limits. We have to do like 10 of each or maybe 15 of each really cool person. We had to make like decisions.
Roman was capped out at like month 6.
Yeah, right.
Same with John Cena.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we have a lot of those too.
Who's your son's favorite wrestler, by the way?
Right now, he watches like YouTube videos with the wrestlers. Right now, he really likes Jushin Liger. My parents found him like, because I forgot which wrestling figure show, but they had Jushin Liger on a wrestling figure YouTube show, and he loved it.
Whoa!
Solo Sikoa was a big favorite of his.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like the first Solo Sikoa because it didn't have the Samoan spike thumb, so we had to find the other one.
Had to get the second one. Yep.
And then LA Knight, he's a big LA Knight fan. He keeps saying yeah a lot.
Hey, that's how you get him to do chores around the house.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, Rob, were you an LJN or a Hasbro kid, or did you go straight into Jakks, or what was like your wheelhouse, your bread and butter for figures?
So my first figures I remember getting were the original WWF Bendies. And I remember I wasn't a wrestling fan at that time. I was a fan of the cartoon show.
Oh, Rock and Wrestling.
Rock and Wrestling show, which made me like, oh, those are cool. And that's how I learned they were actual wrestlers, because I was maybe like 5 or 6 when those came out, the Bendies. So then I had the steel cage with them. They had a steel cage, and like the bell was like a timer too.
Yep. And they had those little plungers you could put under the ring and slam them down, and it bounced the ring up. And it came, if I recall correctly, that came with the blue knee pad Hogan.
Yes.
And a Nikolai, I think.
I don't remember Nikolai, but I definitely remember the.
Or maybe it was just the Hogan. Okay.
Because the Hogan was scaled up.
It was taller, than
all the other Bendies and stuff like that. But
or the Iron Sheik, maybe. I remember I have an Iron Sheik, Hogan. I remember having some thumb wrestlers. Hillbilly and Junkyard Dog thumb wrestlers. Excuse me. But then I got really into Ghostbusters after that. So wrestling came back around after like a Ghostbuster phase, Batman phase. You know, we always have our like, this is what I'm into right now.
Yeah. So you would have gone back into Hasbro's then when you got back into the figures. Okay.
I had Hasbro's for a while. I had every one of them.
Wow. Green card too, huh?
Yes, I had green card. Only one carded was Kona Crush.
Okay.
But I did sell them before. This kind of sucks, but at the time I wanted to buy other things and collect them, so it's better to have than never not have it all, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I had the whole loose set of Hasbro's at one point, and I sold them way before like the collecting boom came back. Like we're talking early 2000s. That's also the time I really got into Jakks Classic figures too. So I'm like, the Jakks Classic figures kind of represented to me like this is the best of LJN and Hasbro in a one scale set. So that's why I was like, Jakks Classic ended up becoming my favorite until Mattel came along.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, now they're the scale. Like when I was a kid doing like, I'll say like, I always wanted to recreate the matches with my figures. So if I did Undertaker versus Bundy, like from WrestleMania, I don't know why you'd want to do that match, but as a kid, playing with the Undertaker Hasbro, we can't do Hasbro versus LJ. Not for playability, not even with the best of it.
Right.
As a young adult, I was like, that's super cool. I can still display and put them up. And so I sold a lot of my Hasbros to get my Jakks collection, and I kept my Jakks Classic collection. But I had a lot of the LJNs, but I never had all of them.
Okay. Any of the black cards, the later series?
A Warlord at one point.
Nice. Okay.
But never, no Rude, no Haku, no Boss Man.
You were going back. You said earlier that you were going to flea markets and kind of picking off the LJNs, right?
Yeah. Whenever I would see them, we would pick them up. I'm like, oh, we don't have this one. But I remember like the flea markets were so cheap. I think I got 30 LJNs one time for like $40.
That sounds like flea market find.
2008, 2010. I'm like, what are these? What are these supposed to be? So when I see some.
So are you trying to still backfill the collection, like with your Hasbros and LJNs? Are you still trying to build those?
Not anymore, because our setup is really designed for Mattel's, and just for financial reasons. Like I can always admire the collection, always watch other people's videos and think, oh, that's pretty cool. But we're just sticking to Mattel, and we've made like a couple of collecting rules so we don't break the bank. Wifey's okay with collecting as long as we're not breaking the bank, and we make rules. And it's like, is that a first time in the line? Is that like a main legend? I'm like, yeah. So we're first time in the line people, or like big gimmick change people. That's when we get new or new accessory. So
any Jazwares or anything like that?
We do have some AEWs. I mixed them in. I bought a Tony Schiavone and put him in my WCW ring. I know he's wearing an AEW jacket. I'm cheating.
Excellent.
That's okay. Still counts.
The WCW ring.
And talk about a guy that was well overdue for a figure, right? Like Tony Schiavone has been a staple. Like we were watching him as a kid, and it was so great when he finally got a figure. So that's awesome. He picked him up and stuck him on the WCW shelf.
We got some pretty cool toy stores around us. So within an hour driving distance, so we'll check out like new toy stores and stuff like that. If we'll do like day trips around Michigan and do like a toy store or collectible store, a new restaurant we haven't been to, which is super cool.
You got a lot of mom and pop shops around you, huh?
Yeah, the best place I've actually collected is still Marketplace, because I'm not taking advantage, but some people just don't know what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is crazy at this time, right?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of Ultimates from somebody last year, the Flair and the pink robe, the Macho and the green jacket. There had to be like 12 figures for $100. I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you. I'll meet you as soon as I'll meet you as soon as we can meet.
Oh,
man. You sound like Ryan Buds when he was living out here in Los Angeles and somebody had all those Hasbros in the ring for a great price. He's like, I'll be right there. And he left to work and went and grabbed them.
Yeah, bounce. Yeah, sometimes it calls for that. You got to.
Yeah, I always check Marketplace. You just never know what's on there. And some people are just getting rid of stuff, especially if they put like stuff like wrestling men or something on the.
You're like
wrestling man,
okay.
Wrestling man, okay. Oh, I know you have.
Yeah, I'll take all those wrestling men's that you have.
I'll take those. These are weird. I'll grab these. What do you want? Oh, perfect. This sounds bad too, but sometimes you can negotiate them down still.
Oh,
yeah, and that's
true.
Crazy. Yeah,
that is actually true. Oh, that's a little steep. I'll have to take 70. Yeah,
what are these?
They were made by Hasbro or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. All right, Scott, you got a list for us this week?
No, actually I don't.
No list.
I have no list, dude. I
taking a break.
Put the wallet away this week. I had to. It's just been so hot and heavy, it seems, since Comic-Con.
Yes.
I'm like, I've got to just sock it aside, just let it chill out. I had some stuff show up in the pile of loot. The Batman Forever figures came in. I had an Ultimate show up too. Off the top of my head, I'm just forgetting who it was. But had some stuff show up in the pile of loot, so that's good because then I get charged. So I'm like, gotta pump the brakes, man. So no orders this week, dude. I played it safe.
No orders at all, huh?
No. Just played it safe. Kept the wallet in the desk drawer, and it'll fight another day.
I thought you were done with Batman.
I am done with Batman.
Are you sure?
This week was done with Batman. I didn't buy anything.
Oh, so this is the first official week that you are done with the Batmans.
Although I do have a funny Batman story.
Oh, God damn it. What happened?
I come home last Friday and I walk in and I see a McFarlane figure sitting on the kitchen island. And I'm like, I know I didn't buy that. What the hell? So I asked Shannon, I go, what's that McFarlane figure? She goes, oh, you got a Robin figure from Amazon. And I'm like, I did? Apparently, when the Tim Drake Robin had dropped on Amazon, I don't know, 4 months ago, I ordered it, completely forgot it was in the Amazon pre-order thing, and it showed up, and I was like, I just totally pulled a Jeff.
What?
I ordered something, forgot about it, it showed up, and it was a big surprise to me. I don't remember ordering this. I'm happy I did. And Shannon goes, well, if you don't want it, just sell it. And I'm like, no. I'm keeping it. I'm super happy I did. It's going to look great in the Detolf on this shelf right here that you can't see anything on.
Because it's all Batman, dude.
Because it's all Batman figures in there. And
I said it last week, but it's like watching a Batman movie. It's like
it's literally the Batcave. Look how dark that is. It's insane. But that's where Robin's going to go. So yeah, it's I completely forgot ordering it, and Shannon was like, "Yeah, that had your name on it in an Amazon thing." I was like, "Good for me."
That happens as collectors. That happens. They surprise us to our future selves, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I bought myself a future present, and future me said, "Thank you, past me."
Was this a drunken you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Do you remember pre-ordering it?
No, I would imagine there was other stuff I had ordered that day because they usually drop on like specific days at specific times. Yeah. So chances are good I had a bunch of other stuff I was ordering, and this was just in like a flurry of stuff. So,
you definitely pulled a me, dude.
I totally did. I did. Yeah, Shannon's listening. Son of a bitch. That's okay. It's fine. I did order.
You're not
Peyton
breaking
some
the bank, so you're good.
And plus, it wasn't mine. I ordered Peyton some Monster High dolls. They had a set of Wednesdays, come out from the show Wednesday. So they had a set of Wednesday dolls come out for Monster High. It was 3 separate ones. So I got those on BBTS. And I think that might have been the other thing that showed up in my pile of loot was one of those 3. So
okay.
Yeah. Shannon can't get mad. That wasn't me. That was Peyton. That was the kid.
She made me do it. Jazz hands.
She told me to do it. Yeah. I had to. She's like, Dad, can you get this? I'm like, yeah. It was a very tough conversation for her.
It maybe lasted about 12 seconds, and the conversation was, can I get these? Yes. And that's it.
It was a quick yes, and yeah.
I did get in the Bulldogs this past week, the LJN Major Bendy's Bulldogs.
Oh, the big rubber guys, yeah.
In the blue. Trying to decide if those are going to go on the top 10 list. That's one of those figures that we've all been waiting for for a long time, because those baby
in that color.
In that color, especially because the baby blues was always a hot outfit back in the day. I mean, when you had the Rock and Roll Express wearing the blue and the black, and then you had JYD wearing the blue, you had the Bulldogs wearing the blue. That baby blue, and we talked about this 1,000 times on the show, but that was just a color that, like, oh, that looks cool. They look great in that.
It pops. Yeah. It pops. Even when they were in the ring, it popped. But in figure form, it pops even more. And correct me if I'm wrong, we've only gotten that color once on the Bulldogs in figure form, correct?
Technically, it wasn't both of them. It was in the Deluxe Classic. In fact, I have them over. Davey was in the blue, and Dynamite was in the red in the Deluxe Classic.
Right. They split them. That's right.
And the 2-pack was in white?
The 2-pack was in white. Yep, exactly.
And they got Davey's hair wrong. But, Chinese New Year, it happens.
Yeah.
And then Dynamite, when he was first released, and I want to say series 18 or 19 in the Jakks Classic, he was in the red.
In the red, right. And then the LJNs were in red.
Yep, the maroon, technically.
Right, maroon, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so end of this year, I don't know if they'll be on the honorable mentions or actually in the top 10. So we'll see.
They look so good. I've seen a bunch of loose pictures of them, and just, man, it's everything I can do to not jump into the big rubber guys. It's that LJN love, and I've got the Road Warriors coming. But it was all I could do within my power to not purchase the Powers of Pain, to not get Magnum, to not get Dusty, and then to not get either of the Bulldogs. It's like, man, you guys are killing me with these. Like, you're coming straight from my wallet. Get out of my pocket.
All right, Rob, third-party companies, are you and your son in on these? And if you're not, how hard is it not to jump in on these?
So the hard thing is, like I said, we stay to the scale, the Mattel scale. So we'll do AEW, we'll dabble.
Uh-huh.
It's always like finances, right? We come back to sometimes we got to be collectors, but we got to still pay the house payment, put money in the retirement account, and put groceries on the table. Like I'll never.
Right.
One becomes a habit if it's not. One's a hobby, one's a habit, right? Once it starts affecting other aspects of your life, right?
Yep. Adulting sucks.
Right, it does.
Yeah.
Like I know if I still have my Hasbro collection, I would be buying every third party of every different figure. If I still have my LJNs, I'd be buying every big rubber guy that didn't have an LJN figure. Like I'd be all over the big rubber guys.
Yeah.
So I'm glad in a way, but we'll buy. I know, was it Hastel Toys? They're doing Godwins.
Yes.
And then I saw a really cool Jeff Jarrett pictures from zombie toys that look colors that look super cool. It looks super cool on our shelf.
Are you talking about the retro or the 6-inch scale?
6-inch scale.
6-inch scale, yeah.
His Pillman is outstanding too.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, cool. So might want to dabble into those, but don't jump all the way in. Just kind of
we're just
put a toe in.
It's gonna be names.
Yeah.
I still got to meet up with Norm and get all the dude. He has like a pile of loot sitting for me, dude. I don't know.
It's your big bad toy store.
I have a Toyota Corolla. I don't even know if it's gonna fit in the Corolla, dude.
You're gonna have to get one of those top racks for the roof.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm going camping, but instead I'm picking up toys from Norm.
You're gonna rent a U-Haul for $29.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's got 2 things for me. He's got the Yoko Ultimate, not the Chase, the standard version. And then that Diamond Edition Kerry Von Erich Powertown Ultra.
Sure. I don't even know what's in this loot, dude. We've got to meet up.
You've also got a Kerry Von Erich, because remember he ordered the 3 in one shot. He did it while we were on the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So he's got yours. He's got mine. I don't know if he picked up a Yoko Ultimate for you, but I know he's got mine, the standard edition. But I don't even know what else is in your huge pile of loot. I'm hoping he locates a Mankind Ultimate Edition, because that's really the one that I'm like hot and heavy searching right now, and cannot find obviously any Walmart. So hopefully Norm is able to locate one. He's kind of been our figure savior in certain situations. So keep my fingers crossed for him.
Before we get into the news, I thought this would be fun. Thank you to Josh Thompson, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He sent over some trivia. You guys want to play some trivia?
Let's do it.
I know we got a little bit of news, but I thought this would be fun. So he says, hey, Jeff and Scott, and Rob, I'll throw you in this week. JT here, and this week I've got some trivia for you guys. Now I know the summer is just about over, but I'd figure we'd end things off with the last hurrah in the form of SummerSlam trivia.
Okay.
One question will be about wrestling. The other will be about wrestling figures. Trivia answers will be in separate email titled Trivia Answers. Wait, did he send? Okay, yeah, I did get trivia answers. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Question number 1 for the panel. What was the main event of SummerSlam 1993?
Luger and Yoko.
Yep.
Question number 2. True or false? Both Mattel and Jakks have made an action figure of Rey Mysterio's The Flash attire.
True?
So,
did you say Jakks and Mattel?
True or false, both Mattel and Jakks have made an action figure of Rey Mysterio's The Flash attire.
He wore the Flash attire. Was that it? 20?
No, wait.
I think it was 20. I was at 20.
I was too. I don't remember what he was wearing though. Daredevil was the previous year. He wore Daredevil at 19.
That's right, when he faced Matt Hardy in Seattle.
Yes, and I think Flash was WrestleMania 20. I know Mattel did. Mattel did for sure.
I
think Jakks did too. I think it's true.
I'm thinking it was like a ringside exclusive, just like if it was. I don't think they did though. Did they?
Mattel did for sure.
I know Mattel did for sure.
I don't remember if Jakks did.
All right, so the panel says, Scott, you say
let's
yes?
just go true.
True?
Let's
I
just
would
go
say true too. I remember seeing that, but
okay.
I can't recall what series.
Okay. For question number 1, what was the main event at SummerSlam 93? That you guys were correct. Lex Luger and Yokozuna.
Horrible finish.
Oh God, it was terrible. Yeah.
Why were they celebrating?
Come
on, guys. You know the rules.
It was like a fart in church, dude. Holy crap.
Oh, man. Yeah.
For question number 2, it is true. Both Mattel and Jakks have made the Flash Rey Mysterio attire. Bonus points if you remember that the Flash figure was a ringside exclusive.
Look at
and
you.
Bonus points to Mattel if we can get that figure in the greatest hits line.
Wouldn't surprise me. I don't remember the Jakks one. I definitely remember the Mattel one. I do not remember Jakks.
It just sounds like a ringside exclusive.
Totally.
Both of them. So
absolutely. Yep.
All right. Good job, panel.
Woohoo. We did it, you guys.
You guys did good. Good job, guys.
I feel like he threw us some softballs outside of that Rey Mysterio Flash one.
I'm trying to think of another SummerSlam trivia that. Quick, Scott. What was Miss Elizabeth's panties? What color were they?
Red, dude.
Very good.
Come on now. Come on. You want to talk about certain images that are burned into your brain?
Jeff, I've got to go upstairs now.
Oh, no.
Is that why you ran upstairs? No, I'm joking. All right. God damn it. Don't do that, Scott. That's disgusting.
Why is this one part of the tape just completely worn down? Like it's been watched over and over and over.
Oh, disgusting, Scott, too. Come on.
Like, don't you know how to use pause?
All right. You're disgusting, Scott.
You're a horrible influence.
I am. I'm terrible. All right. What do you guys say we jump into the news?
Let's talk about it.
All right. Super 7 pre-orders are up for the new 6-inch scale Matt Cardona figure. It is a red, neon green, yellow gear. From what we were reading, it was based off of a Jurassic Park inspired type gear.
Yes.
With like Road Warrior, inspired shoulder pads, right?
Since his run on the indies, he's been wearing that quite a bit. So, but from what we heard, this new color scheme was basically like a Jurassic Park theme inspired gear. So those pre-orders are available at super7.com.
And they're still in the wrestling figure game. Who knew?
Yeah, we thought they were done because when was
I would have sworn they were done, dude. We didn't see anything for a long time.
A long time that I mean, when was the last time? Was it the last Cardona and Myers?
It was.
And that was what, 2 years ago?
Yes.
Well, pre-orders went up 2 years ago. I think people were getting them, I want to say like earlier this year or late last year or something like that.
Yeah, and you got to think at one point they were doing like special edition figures like they did the club, right?
Gallows and Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson. They've done a few Cardona and Myers. They had the NJPW line. They did a few Andre the Giants. I mean, they were hot and heavy into wrestling. Mm-hmm. And then it was all of a sudden like they just kind of hit pause. Like, we're not going to do this for a minute. But it looks like they're back in the game.
But it seemed like lately they've been focusing a lot on their music line. And they they started to dabble in cartoons, like 80s cartoons, 90s cartoons, you know, Transformers and Animaniacs.
Conan has become, big for them.
Ren and Stimpy as well. So it looked like they were starting to shift focus over to a different genre.
Well, it's only one figure, so I don't want to get too excited yet to think, okay, cool. You know, they're going to start throwing their hat in the ring when companies are like, okay, we need a wrestling figure manufacturer. Mm-hmm. I hope they stick around, you know, because they showed that they can do really good figures. But then, you know, you look at that Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 2 and you're like, oh, there's the other side of the coin.
Let's pump the brakes, Super 7. Come on now. Let's stop.
And maybe that's why they did. You know, maybe that's why they did pump the brakes, because they got a lot of bad press on that. Well-deserved. And hopefully, you know, this figure comes out. It's amazing. And they get a lot of positive feedback. And they're like, okay, let's just try a few other names. You know, names that aren't under a major license. See what happens. Maybe they get the Road Warriors. Who knows?
All right. So those pre-orders are available at super7.com. All right. Grapplers and Gimmicks. They showed off a Rhino rendering. And Rob, you were showing off your ECW shelf back there.
Yeah, I got an ECW section.
So Rhino kind of fits into that.
Rhino does kind of fit. Look cool. I have the one Jack's Rhino that looks, that's not so good. And then I have the Mattel Rhino, which is very like tank built, which he is built like a tank, but it's very broad. I'm like,
yeah, he's like thick with 4 C's, you know.
Right. Yeah. And funny enough, this shot of Rhino from Grapplers and Gimmicks, it's showing off those cheeks. So, but that is a retro scale. That's not a 6-inch scale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
it's a retro figure.
Yeah. By the way, I'm curious. There are vehicles, Rob, over your left shoulder.
Those are TMNT.
Oh, teenage. Okay, so those.
The Ninja Turtle section. The Ninja Turtle section's all that way. It kind of mixes in for a minute.
Are you getting the new WWE TMNT inspired figures?
I want to get the New Day because they wore the gear on TV.
I gotcha.
They're gonna have to be. They're gonna have to be like I came across them, not I ordered them. They're gonna have to be like wandering through Target, picking up something I was supposed to get, and then I don't know why that cost so much money. Here's the New Day. Go to Target, no problem.
Got to follow the rules.
But if I run across them, I'm picking up the Kofi and the Xavier.
Okay,
nice.
Cool. And the packaging team did.
Yes.
You know, we always kind of. I hate to use this term, but we always give the packaging team their flowers from Mattel. And same thing with Jazwares. Their packaging team does a fantastic job as well. Do. But Mattel's packaging team just crushed that series. They just did a fantastic job. So kudos to them. All right, moving over to Top Rope Collectibles. Now, to kind of remind everyone, Top Rope Collectibles is making the Galloob style figures. So this is kind of an update regarding their PN News. This is from their IG account. Pre-orders open September 1st. So the day this show drops.
Yeah.
Day this show drops. You will be able to pre-order the PN News Galloob style figure from Top Ropes Collectible. And it will close on September 30th. The only place you can order is through topropecollectibles.com. So no Asylum, no any of those other wrestling figure websites, only through topropecollectibles.com. They also said that there will be no belts with PN News, which did PN News win any belts in WCW?
Well, no, but the Galloob figures always came with a belt. Oh, so I think that's why they're saying no belts with PN News.
You're right. The gold WCW block letters.
Generic, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think about that, because I was like, did he win tag gold?
Jeff, I thought the same thing. I
Okay.
was looking, I'm like, he never held a championship, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, Galloob, yeah, they always had the titles. Yep.
I used those Galloob titles for tag titles in my Hasbro Fed when I was a kid.
Yes.
Because Hasbro only had the World Championship.
And Scott talked about it before. He's used Barry Windham as the Undertaker too.
Yes, that's right. I had to use my imagination.
That checks out. That'd make a good Undertaker.
Yeah, he filled the gap until I actually got a Hasbro Undertaker. But I was one to put the Just Toys Bendhams in with the Hasbros too, because the scale was pretty close. And you don't know how much shit I've caught for that, because apparently you can't mix Bendhams and Hasbros.
You can't. I'm throwing shit at you.
The scale wasn't that off. It's not like you're talking Hasbro and LJN.
Oh, it's terrible, Scott. You can't do that.
Do that.
Come on.
We had to have Diesel. I'm listening when we got Diesel into the Hasbro mix. Like, oh man, finally got Diesel, and I'm like, they changed him.
And there was no Hasbro to fill, or Galloob to fill that Hasbro Diesel. So I was like, hey, but Just Toys Bendhams has a Diesel. It still works. It still works.
No, it didn't. It didn't. I'm throwing shit at you.
All right, fine. Just completely forget everything I just said.
All right. Also, from the IG account, these will be expected in December. Now, this is where I got a little confused, and hopefully somebody can explain this one to me. They said, hopefully earlier, but when ordering, please consider that there may be a delay until Q1 due to Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year isn't until February of 2025. Did they mean December of 2020?
They're expected in December, but if they run a little bit late, it's going to run into a delay because of Chinese New Year. If it goes beyond the December arrival, I think they're just basically like under promising, but hoping to over deliver, right? They're like, hey, we're expecting this, but just in case it could be this. So they're kind of like setting expectations.
Jeremy Padower was just sitting there going, oh, did somebody say Chinese New Year? Oh,
he's like Mr. Burns drumming his fingers. Did someone say?
His nursing flaps.
I think I have a Chinese New Year figure back here somewhere.
Which one?
Luther Reigns.
Oh, Luther. Oh, that one
Luther Reigns. Yeah, he has the like the Titantron arms with the ruthless aggression body.
Ah, nice.
Someone else, I forgot. No,
is it the black hair flare?
I did not get that. No, I
okay.
I don't think I would take that if someone paid me to.
Jeremy Padower's coaching up the top rope collectibles guys. Hey, just drop Chinese New Year, man. If you drop Chinese New Year, it just kind of clears your name.
Fills every gap.
It's like saying bless your heart.
Right.
It's like saying allegedly. It just clears your name. Allegedly.
I think another Chinese New Year figure was one of the Loud Resistance guys too.
I want to say you're right. There was so many that fell under that. The Rock and Roll Express is the most notorious one.
Yeah.
But that was the one where they switched the hair on Ricky and Robert and stuff like that. So
I have them too, but that's the only like cool. I mean, it's like their most modern figures, but they need a do-over by somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm dying for Mattel to do we're going to get those Powertown Remco inspired ones. Yeah. And that's great. I'm never going to complain about Rock and Roll Express figures. It's just that I want more. It kind of whets the appetite. You're like, okay, cool. I have them in Remco scale. Now I want them, give me the Mattel or Jack scale ones. And Jeff, you have a set of signed Rock and Roll Express Classic Superstars somewhere in Mom's garage.
Oh, cool. I'll never see those.
She ordered it for you, I want to say 2010 for Christmas. Yeah.
Well, now I'll have two because I've got the one over my shoulder this way. You can kind of see
you'll
the
have
blue.
Two sets.
You kind of see the blue right up.
Oh, yeah.
That's where Ricky and Robert signed. Cool. I'll have two sets. This is awesome. But I'll never see it because our parents are hoarders. And every time I go over there, I start hyperventilating. And I was like, I need to go now.
Anxiety spikes. You're like, oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's just overrun.
We're going to find a dead animal in there, Scott. I know we are, dude.
I know. It's like going into what I would imagine QVC's warehouse looks like. It's just like piles of boxes and bags and just stuff.
Dude, I'm pretty sure QVC's warehouse is way cleaner than Mom and Dad's.
It has way less stuff.
Way less stuff, dude. Oh my god.
But anyway, there's a set of Rock and Roll Express signed Classic Superstars, I think in black Sharpie, but she ordered it on eBay way back in 2010. So one of these days when we get to cleaning out that garage,
I'm already
We'll
starting to hyperventilate. So, oh, God, don't even bring that house up, dude. I don't even. I was having a good day until you brought that up, Scott.
Now you're sidetracked and distracted. Anxieties through the roof.
Thanks, Top Rope Collectibles. Now you got me all flustered. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking about figure belts.
Speaking of figure belts, when are we expecting those Chaos Wrestling ones?
So they've been ordered.
Yes.
I ordered them, I believe it was last Friday.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, last Friday. So we got a set of US tag.
Yes.
A set of world tag.
Yes.
A United States title. An IWGP heavyweight title, V4 to be specific. And then I think you got the Blackstrap NWA television title.
Correct.
And I want to say that order was $125 because he does a deal where if you buy 4 separate designs, you get $25 off your order as long as you order 5 belts. You get $25 because it essentially gives you a belt for free with the $25 off because the belts are $25. Tags are $45, and that is finished or unfinished.
Okay, and give the website one more time just in case somebody didn't.
See, you got to put me on the spot when I don't have stuff queued up. This is what you do. You throw me curveballs. It was Instagram Chaos. Yes. Chaos Customs. Hold on, I've got to get into our group and scroll back.
Chaos Custom Wrestling Belts.
It's something like that, but I'll give his Instagram, but you can go to his website too. Hold on. I'm still scrolling. We talk a lot in this group. I'm still scrolling, just not doing any kind of filler here.
No,
okay,
I want you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, thank you.
On the spot.
On Instagram, Chaos Wrestling Club. All of the K are K's, not C's. So that's Chaos with a K, Wrestling Club with a K on Instagram. Let me see if I have the website here. The website is www.chaos with a K, Wrestling Club with a K .store. And on some of the titles, you can actually select the color of the strap as well. And you can pick to have your belt painted or unpainted. It's all the same price. Singles are $25, tags are $45. And as soon as we get them, we'll definitely do a review on the show. Apparently, I'm going to be doing a video for them as well.
Yes.
So hopefully they kick ass. I'll pull out my Brainbusters figures. We'll put the NWA tag straps on them, pull out my Barry Windham, put the U.S. title on him.
No, don't pull out your Barry Windham. Keep that thing holstered. Come on now. Jesus.
These are made to order then? They're not...
Yes.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You can have any championship you want. That's so cool.
Yeah, pretty much. And if he doesn't have it on his site, he can custom make it.
That's super cool.
And so
it's awesome.
And since they have the NWA TV title, I'm thinking they could do AWA tag titles because it's almost the same design. So if not the same design, because a lot of people use that design back in the 80s.
Well, what Travis Fowler had said is he had a Stardom belt done by him. And it was the same price. He just basically was like, hey, can you do this? So if you email him and ask him, there's a good chance that he can do it. But, we'll put a review up on these. And I've been kind of looking for figure belts because I look inside the Detolf and I'm like, man, some of these figures are really cool, but they need a title around their waist or they need a title on their shoulder or, holding up a title. So I'm really hopeful for these and excited to see them.
Also, that they have a bunch of different belts on there, even belts that even belts that are being made by current day companies like Jazwares and WWE Mattel. They do have belts on there. You can get them unpainted, like we had talked about with Jeff Verbelso's last week.
Yes,
he's doing a lot of painting nowadays. He even did those He-Man figures that we talked about last week. But when Scott mentioned that they could be unpainted, Jeff kind of perked up. He's like, oh. Nurse and Flaps came down. He started rubbing the nipples and stuff like that.
That's exciting to some people. To me, it's terrifying.
What'd you say, Scott? Unpainted?
Did you say unpainted? Yeah, I'm excited to see what the finished product looks like because just based on what you see on his website, they look amazing. Yeah. So I'm super excited to see him. And I know we have a lot of Jeff Hardy fans that listen to the show that have loose Jeff Hardy figures. He has those cool belts that he wore in TNA. He's got a couple of those Jeff Hardy designs. So, yeah, it's worth a look through the website. And, I mean, $25 for a custom title, that seems very reasonable to me. So I'm excited to see him.
And we're going to do a YouTube review. So when you get those in, I will drive out to you, Scott, and then we can do a review. I'll do the video. And then my buddy 2F will help put the video together. And we could put it up on our YouTube channel doing the review of Chaos Wrestling Club Stores belts.
Yes, that's it.
All right. Sweet, dude.
Yeah, we can check it out. Cool. That'd be cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Time to move over to Jazwares. The Sting Luminaries figure has a new look. He will be in white Stinger tights, Sting tights from like 1992, 1993-ish. You'll have the different heads. Originally, this was supposed to be Sting in yellow tights, but they're changing it up to the white tights now.
Yeah. So, it was supposed to be yellow and red. Now it's white and blue. White tights, blue boots, where it was yellow tights, red boots before. I don't know how I'm feeling about this one. I really like that yellow look.
Rob, I'll start with you. Like, what was it about the yellow that you liked?
I just remember him more in like the neon, like yellow. I don't remember the white so much. The white was always like the red, white, and blue kind of. Great American Bash Sting is what I always call him. But the neon green just seems to be more Sting than white. White seems, I don't know, doesn't scream Sting to me. I know he wore it, but
yeah, he always had brighter colors. Right. Yeah. Like that's how, like, that's a perfect example, like neon green, bright orange,
right.
Like
bright pink at one point too. Right. And
exactly. I think, was that Halloween Havoc? I think maybe he wore that bright pink when he faced Sid. I could be totally off base here or totally wrong. He definitely had hot pink at one point, but I associate Surfer Sting with like those brighter colors, which is why when I saw the yellow and the red, I was like, yes, that's awesome. Like that is Surfer Sting. Not that the white with the blue is bad. It's not, but what's funny is I actually had Ringside queued up on my phone over the weekend, and I was like, I think I'm going to just order this figure. I was like trying to talk myself out of it. And I was like, when I talk myself out of it, I'm closing the link on my phone. I'm not going to order it. Well, it was still open Monday morning. And I'm like, I think I'm going to order it. And then I had seen on Facebook, it was starting to make the rounds, transition from the yellow and red to the white and blue. And I closed the link. Like, I'm not ordering that Sting. I like his Elite figure with the Polly Pocket jacket on it. And it came with the big gold. Yep. I don't remember what series it was. I think it was in the 50s, 50s or 60s.
Yeah, 61, 62, 63, 4, 5, 6, and 7,
if I'm
8,
not mistaken, I know he's on that shelf. I think he has white tights on in that.
Yes, he does. He does.
Yeah, so I've already got a Sting in white tights. And I was like, nah, that's the cancel for me.
Well, there was a battle pack with Undertaker with white tights too, with the tombstone, I think. Was that?
You're right.
The tombstone too? So Mattel did it too, and I don't think I ever got it. It would look cool, but I'm like, this is like, I think I would have bought a battle pack with Crow Sting and the Undertaker, but not.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So yeah, that was a pass for me. I'm not getting that one now. They'll release more. I mean, you could do that Sting in so many different designs and colors, and you got to think that they're coming. I mean, at this point, just pump out all the Stings. As long as you've got them under a deal, Jazwares, keep producing those Stings. We'll keep buying them. But this one was a pass for me.
That Batman shelf still makes me laugh, dude.
You can't see anything on it.
I know. That's what makes me laugh about it, dude. Like, at least I'm behind you. I can kind of make out wrestling figures. I can see.
Like the Road Warriors. And then right here, you got the Bloodline in the front row. This is actually the WCW shelf. Okay. Like you got Flair right there in the robe. But that is all Batman. It's all black. It is literally the Batcave. On that shelf is the Batcave. I mean, like underneath are these villains. And you can clearly make out like there's Riddler and Joker.
I can see Riddler, yeah.
Yeah, but above that, can't make out any of those Batman.
Okay.
I guess I need lighting is what you're saying, Jeff.
That's ridiculous, dude.
A couple of those hockey puck lights are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. And then Jeff's got those Luke lights. I think they are.
And those those are pretty good too, but they just take a while to set up and put up. It does take a little bit, but
whereas those pucks, you just slap them up there and they're good to go.
Well, you just twist and turn and take the batteries out. They're super easy.
Yeah, the Luke lights took a little bit to set up, but I'll tell you what, when you do get them set up, it's worth it. It's just that time you're just like, oh, is this done yet? Like,
it does look really good. It looks outstanding. Those Luke lights are really a great addition if you have a Detolf.
All right, moving over to WWE Mattel. Jesse Ventura updates. During an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Jesse Ventura said, quote, "My relationship with them now has much improved. We are on the verge right now. I say this: contracts have been written, contracts have been agreed upon. All it requires is 2 signatures, one from them and one from me. I will be back with the Legends in quotations contract. So Jesse Ventura is close to being finished, or actually close to signing that Legends contract. And then eventually that will make its way over to toys.
I can't wait.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's put money down. Let's do a little fun bet.
First figure,
Is it wrestling or announcer?
Coliseum collection.
Yeah. With who though? Mean Gene, maybe?
Yeah, we had kind of knocked this around last week. My money's on Mean Gene.
Okay, now do they do wrestler or announcer?
No, it's wrestler, dude. You got to go on his LJN gear. Every figure they've done so far has been faithful to the LJN. So it's going to be his wrestling look.
When the LJN came out, was he done wrestling at that time? I always felt he was.
Yeah, he was. He was done.
Okay.
And that was always the weird one to me when I was a kid, because I got Bruno, and Bruno was in wrestling gear, and Jesse Ventura, and he was in wrestling gear, and I was always confused. I was like, why are they in wrestling gear? Like, they're announcers.
Well, at least Bruno did wrestle still at that point, though.
He did a battle royal at one of the Manias. Right?
He did.
And he was in some tag matches with Tito against Randy Savage and Adrian Adonis.
And that was during the Coliseum home videos. It wasn't like on everyday Saturday morning or prime time.
Right.
Or, it was always
he was doing like house shows and stuff. Like he wasn't doing matches on Saturday mornings.
Right.
We knew him more as an announcer.
Right. So I was always confused because it's like, I see him more wearing the blazer, the WWF blazer, than I do see him wearing trunks. Like, why is he in trunks? I didn't get that one. Same thing with Jesse. Jesse was an announcer at that time when his figure came out, and didn't understand why he was in wrestling gear. We didn't have a network. We didn't have any streaming services to go back in time at that time. So that was one that baffled me when I was a kid, but makes sense now as an adult.
LJN didn't do a lot of re-releases, but I think it would have made a lot of sense for them to do a Jesse and a Bruno in announcer gear to go with Vince, to go with Mean Gene. They could have been in the Manager series. Those two guys would have made a lot of sense to re-release. But I honestly think that with his, oh my gosh, is this going to be his first figure? Is this first since LJ? Because he wasn't in Classic Superstars, right?
No, he was. Remember,
he was
at least two classics.
Remember?
He was.
Remember, Toys R Us was pumping out a bunch of exclusives.
Okay, so we did get a couple of him then.
So his Jax one is like the LJN one with the pink pants.
Yep,
kind of like the same pink pants, and then he has
he had like
announcer gear with like a lampshade hair.
Yep.
I remember where you were.
And then they made a black and white one too.
Okay.
But Toys R Us had a bunch of Jesse Ventura exclusive Jax classics. So I remember it flooded the shelves because when we were working together, Scott, out in Antioch, Toys R Us was literally right around the corner from us.
Yeah, that's right.
During lunch, I'd head over there, check around. And I was like, I got a bunch of Jesse's, no new figures or anything like that. So
we're talking mid 2000s was the last Ventura figure that we got.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really think their first one out of the chute's going to be the Coliseum collection. So it'll be how he looked as an LJN. They'll include feather boas, maybe a jacket, but I would love to see him as referee from SummerSlam 88. And I would love to see his WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5 announcer gears come out as figures.
They could put him in a SummerSlam set. They could put him in one of the future waves with SummerSlam. You're right.
Yeah,
because he refereed 2 SummerSlams.
He refereed 2 SummerSlams.
That's right.
Foley, Triple H, and Rock.
Austin.
Yeah.
And that would actually complete because we've already got a DiBiase, we've already got an Andre, we had the Mega Powers 2-pack, we had the SummerSlam Liz come out. You give us a Jesse, you've pretty much completed that whole match.
Yeah, that's awesome when you can do that.
Yeah,
that's so
heck
cool.
yeah,
I
love that.
Rob, does your son play with figures, or does he just admire them being put up on a shelf?
He plays and he admires.
Okay, got it.
So like some of the guys up there we don't play with because some of the jacks can't take too many bumps with some of the jacks. So, he plays with and admires. Me and him actually do our own fig fed, which is super cool with each other.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
So
I love that.
Fun as a son, and he like sets up matches, and then if we do like a card, it's just fun to play again. And when you have kids, it's so much like you can justify it. Like I'm not just a 40-year-old man playing with action figures in his basement. Like, I'll play with my son. My daughter will come down here and we'll leave like a girls' match for her. We'll put 2 girls in the ring with the referee.
That's awesome.
If you want to play figures, this is a judgment-free podcast, man. So
I don't. My wife always says there's worse habits. So
yes,
and
yes.
that's the best way.
Like, it's not bad.
Look, I am playing with figures. I'm not doing crack, stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
What's the worst of 2 evils, When you put it into that context?
It's not so bad, right?
I couldn't do crack.
I could be on crack. Yes.
Right.
And that rounds out the news for this week.
Well, Jeff, I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention the passing of really one of the all-time greats.
Yeah. You want to do that before the nostalgia segment?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've lost another legend. Sid passed away this week. And man, first person I thought of was Chad Ecto-Young. He is the biggest Sid Vicious fan that I know. And yeah, he took it hard. Wrestling fans all over the world took it hard. And it's another legend gone. Honestly, I did not know that he was battling cancer. So this one really came as a shock to me. It reminded me of when Norm Macdonald passed away, Jeff. And a lot of people didn't know that he had been battling an illness for many years. And then all of a sudden he was gone. And so this one was a big shock. It wasn't one that you saw wrestlers going out and saying, oh, they're in poor health. They're declining. Send your prayers. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, boom, the news broke. And it's another example of WWE really dropping the ball on putting some names into the Hall of Fame, because man, that would have been a hell of an induction speech, wouldn't it? And we're cheated of that opportunity. And hopefully, if anything, this really rattles the cage of WWE to be like, hey, while you have these guys here, put them in the hall now. Stop waiting. There's no reason Sid Vicious should not be in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's a damn shame, honestly, because like I said, we're not going to get that speech. But hopefully they rectify things. 2025 needs to be Sid's year.
Yeah, Vader passed away. He didn't get to do a speech or anything like that. So
right.
Macho always hurts with that. Like Macho live speech for the Hall of Fame. I know you can't put everyone in at once, but we have so many posthumous inductions. It's sad, and I know it's just like their last moment in the sun, really, and it's super cool.
Yep, and we got cheated. I feel as a fan, I was cheated of that moment. I mean, not to mention Sid himself cheated, but I feel we as fans were cheated for that moment to celebrate with him. And it sucks. And like I said, I really hope this is kind of a wake-up call for WWE. Look, while we have these guys here, put them in the Hall of Fame. That's what it's there for. Let's celebrate them while they're here.
Yep. He will definitely be missed by a lot of wrestling figure fans and wrestling fans in general, because we were supposed to meet him in WrestleCon this past year, and unfortunately he wasn't able to make it.
But I know we always play this game, but best Sid figure?
The Sid Justice Hasbro or the Sid Vicious Galloob?
So I do love the Galloob.
I like the Sid Justice basic from Mattel.
That one's good, where he's in the blue.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a very simple figure. But I felt they captured everything from his outfit to his hair. The sculpt was good. I mean, for a basic, that's not going to be always my go-to. But for perfectly capturing Sid Justice, I think it's that one. Sid Vicious. Man, that Jack's Classic is pretty damn good.
That's all right.
I think it's really good. But we have one coming out, right? Didn't they show one at Comic-Con?
I think when he won a Survivor Series 96.
Yeah, I think you're right, Rob. I think it is the Survivor Series 96 Sid.
Oh man, I've got to go back through the pictures. Holy crap!
Yeah, there's so much shown, but it's not an ultimate though. I think
it's gonna be an elite.
It's elite style thing.
Yeah, it could even be for a Survivor Series set. But we're getting another Sid. So I think the timing for that is perfect. I'm pretty sure everybody listening to the show is going to jump in on that one. But we'll see. That could end up taking the top spot for Sid Vicious. But man, that Sid Justice basic is outstanding.
We just found that at one of our stores too before he passed a couple weeks ago. My son and I did, and
did you pick it up?
Yeah, one of the little grab bins for $7. Yeah, he's over. He's somewhere down here.
That's awesome.
What got me went to dinner with mom and dad and Alana this past Tuesday, and literally we sat down for dinner, and dad looks and he goes, "I'm sorry about Sid Vicious," and I was like, that kind of threw me off. I was like, how did Dad know about that?
Jeff, it was on news sites.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There were some news sites that carried it like right at the top of their pages.
Got it. Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely made the rounds.
It was like Monday afternoon, I think. I heard about it at work.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say best Sid Vicious figure, Galloob.
Yeah, I was gonna say Galloob had a good one, dude. That pose was good. He had the double strap singlet. You know, I love that figure.
Yeah. That figure did rule the world. It was awesome.
Which one, the American or the UK? Because the UK, he had on that colorful like pink singlet.
I gotta go black. I gotta go the US version.
All right, R.I.P. to Sid. Thank you for the memories. All right, it is time for the nostalgia segment. And Rob, you want to talk about Hasbro Series 7, the yellow card.
Yeah, it was my favorite Hasbro set as a kid.
Really? Is there a memory behind it for you?
So I always, like, when I played with figures, I always wanted the pay-per-views to be kind of complete. So we're coming off, I know it was a couple months after SummerSlam 92. So, like, we didn't have a Nails, we didn't have a Kamala to wrestle Undertaker. I know Razor wasn't on the show, but having the first Razor, having Shawn after turning on Jannetty, the Owen was super cool. Like, every single figure in that there's not a dull figure in that series. Like, every single one is perfect. I always thought Crush was cool as a kid, not because of his moves, but just his color scheme. Like, it's the bright colors that pop, right? So
absolutely.
Bright orange, bright yellow, bright purple, that kind of stuff. So I love that. I found out about that set through the magazine. So you're looking through the magazines, and then you see that Undertaker ad that says "Undertake them all."
Yes.
I'm like, wow, these are coming. That's super cool. So
yeah. Where did you find them at?
I found Nails was at a toy shop we found before, and then everyone else was a KB find for us when we were kids.
Got it.
Kamala was KB, Owen, Razor, the Shawn, they were all KB. We got lucky. I think that was the last. No, we found the red cards. We never saw the green cards at KB, but we saw all the yellow cards were at KB.
Oh, you guys did find the red card at KB?
Yeah, we did find the red card at KB. My mom actually did because they were in our Easter basket that year.
Nice. So that's awesome.
Getting a Yoko, a Bam Bam, and a Perfect for Easter, and the Luger probably too. So,
dude,
heck yeah,
your Easter bunny rule, dude.
Yeah, that was super
cool. So where did I pull this set for the Series 7 yellow card? From my memory bank, because this was
okay.
But everybody else, you guys can go over to WrestlingFigureDatabase.com and to look at all these figures from this series. That is all over at WrestlingFigureDatabase.com. Great, useful tool for everybody.
I love it. Love it.
Isn't it a great site? It's awesome.
It is.
It is.
It's got all the most recent news and basically almost every wrestling figure ever made.
Yeah.
WrestlingFigureDatabase.com. Memory bank, Scott. Memory bank.
Okay, how many of these did you just know off the top of your head? And then how many did you need to fill in from Dylan's site?
I missed one. Do you want to take a guess which one I missed?
Crush.
No.
Owen?
Bingo. I forgot Owen was in this series. I thought Owen, for some reason in my head, I thought Owen was either in Series 6 or Series 9 after the red card. And so I was like sitting there and I'm like, I know I'm missing somebody. Who the hell is it? And then that's when I had to go over to database. So anyways, damn it. It's always that last one.
Hasbro's are easy to recall. It's the Jacks and the Mattel series. I'm like,
don't even try.
I can't tell you what series they're in.
Don't even try, dude. It's not
so much.
Yeah. Just play the Immaculate Grid baseball and that will kind of ease your mind a little bit.
Okay.
Do you still play that every day, Scott, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I play it every morning.
Every morning? Around
like 10:30 or so. Yeah. I'll run through my list of websites that I check, whatever, email and all that good stuff. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get my grid on. Oh. So yep, every day.
Immaculate Grid.
Yep. The Immaculate Grid is 10 or 30. Is that when the morning coffee pushes?
It's usually right around like 9:45.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, I get back to the desk. The pipes are cleaned. Email's good. And I'm like, time for grid.
Thinking clearly.
Yeah, thinking clearly. Yeah, exactly.
These are poop jokes, Rob. These are poop jokes.
Oh yeah. They're not my favorite joke, but they are close number 2, right?
Boom. Boom. I love it.
Excellent.
I love it.
Excellent. Can't get no fastballs by this guy.
No, they're getting the old number 2 curveball, right? All right. All right, Scott, what you got for the Yellow Card Series 7 Hasbro's?
Yes, sir. WWF Hasbro Series 7 consisted of Crush, and he came with the Kona Crusher action. He was in his purple and yellow gear. This was when he was a face. Kamala, he came with a necklace accessory. He did have a variant in this one that had the moon belly. Nails had the Jailhouse Jab action. Oh, Kamala, by the way, had the Kamala Crush action. Mm-hmm. Nails with the Jailhouse Jab. Orange jumpsuit, looked like Nails. No nightstick. Hasbro kind of known for the accessories, but no nightstick here.
Mm-hmm.
Owen Hart with the Rocket Blast. He was in his new Foundation gear here. Razor Ramon with the Razor Edge action. Gold chain accessory. Jeff.
Don't you look at me. Take your beady little eyes off me, dude.
I'll take things that you should never give away for 400, Alex. Gold chain accessory.
He needed one. Come on, he's a friend.
Yeah, but we had 2 razors.
Yeah.
And 2 razors need 2 gold chains. Says the guy who didn't keep track of the accessories and shoot off all of the figure fingers.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Razor was in red trunks, black vest, and last but certainly not least, Shawn Michaels with the conceited crunch. He like Macho Man pose.
Macho Man pose.
Yep, yeah. From Series 1. White and red gear and black gloves. And Jeff, that rounds out WWF Hasbro Series 7.
And when Shawn was shown off, he was supposed to have the single arm punch like Tito Santana.
Punchy arm, yep.
Punchy arm. Jake Roberts, was it the 3rd or 4th Hogan?
One of the Hogans, yeah.
One of the Hogans, yeah. Yeah, he was supposed to have that punchy arm, but they switched it up to the double arm up, double arm down.
And it was great. I way preferred that action compared to the punchy arm. Super happy they went with that one.
Our punchy arms on Tito and Jake, they were super loose, weren't they? They would like spin.
Yeah. I mean, the action was tight. You know, unless you really overdid it with the spring, you could degrade it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the arm itself would just spin like a helicopter, like Flair. It was insane.
Allegedly.
I mean, yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. Bless his heart.
Right.
He's still with us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rob, what was your favorite figure in this series?
Razor, without a doubt, Razor.
Razor?
The stubble, the chain, the action was cool. I love that arm extending clothesline. I always thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great pose. Yep.
If you played a lot, though, the Razor wore off on the vest.
Yes.
Yeah,
I do remember the silver wearing off on the vest, and then Owen had that same move too, I think.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, same pose. Yep.
So you must have loved it when Kerry Von Erich had the double arm.
Oh yeah, that was so cool.
That was like
Tatanka too, right?
Tatanka had it, and Texas Tornado. I think that was it though.
Yep. That's like Darth Maul having a double-edged lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So, and what was your least favorite?
Kamala, the design was cool, but he should not have been a jumper. He just shouldn't have been a jumper.
Good point.
Earthquake body, the Earthquake Typhoon body would have been perfect.
Yes. Totally agree. Even Akeem with the belly bump thing that he did, would have been fine, but not a jumper.
Jumpers are like the lightweight, not lightweights. They didn't really have lightweights, but they're always like the high flying guys.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. And I mean, Kamala's move was a splash, the finishing move. So I mean, in that regard, it made sense. But yeah, I think you're right. Like either Earthquake or Typhoon's body would have made a lot more sense for Kamala.
Yeah.
Scott, what was your favorite?
I'm with Rob. Razor. I love that Razor figure. It just, you look at it, you know exactly who it is. It's like they took Razor from his 6 foot whatever and shrunk him down to 4 inches. It's perfect. It is literally the face. That's one of the best Razors ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you look at that face, it is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Really, the only thing missing is a little toothpick sticking out of it. It is a perfect sculpt. Love the inclusion of the gold chain accessory. It's a perfect figure.
And it makes for a great story too. Hey, I got it back.
You did. You saved 2 lives in the process. So well done.
Mine and Nathan's.
Yes.
what was the hole in Razor's hand for? I always felt like he was missing something. But the chain did not have like the chain did not have like a handle though. I don't think.
I wonder if that was repurposed.
But
was that repurposed maybe from Bossman's figure, and they just reused that arm?
Yeah, maybe because they did that a lot too, right?
Yeah, reused parts. Who was it that had Bulldog stuff? We just had this conversation with Chad.
Oh, with Rad Chad.
They reused somebody's
Luger.
Yeah.
In fact, you can see a lot of Bulldog's designs on the Luger figure.
Yeah, that was it. So I'm wondering if maybe it was just a repurposed arm from somebody else.
Possibly.
Steiner had the demolition bumps all over him. I'd never figured that out until later on, until I became an adult collector.
Wait, which one?
Rick Steiner was painted over one of the demolition figures. So if you have Hasbro Rick Steiner's, it has all like the little like bumps, like there's braille all over them, like the demolition had the deco.
Oh man,
Steiner has that.
I don't remember that at all.
It's little tidbits like that, like little hidden gems that we love. Love hearing that.
Because I never figured out why. I was like, why does Rick Steiner have like the bumps on his gear when I was a kid? Until I found out when I started when I started collecting as an adult and looking into stuff. I'm like, that's what it was. It's an old demolition body.
They were doing Jack's tricks before Jack's.
Yeah. I mean, saving money, but that's still so obvious.
Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow, you can see the Earthquake and Typhoon singlet on
yes.
too.
Yeah. And they're like, these stupid kids aren't going to realize. They're going to buy it regardless.
Yeah, they're going to pay the
which we did.
3 for $10 at KB Toys.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are they complaining to?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Social media.
They're getting 3.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't
pull that crap today.
What do they do? Go on some computer or something and talk to some friends or something? What do they do? Complain?
Are they going to call the papers?
Right.
All right. We've got some eBay prices to go over for Crush with the Kona Crush purple and yellow gear. Last sold eBay listing August 18th for $120. These were all on card. I won't say mint on card. I'll say on card. Kamala with the Kamala Crush necklace. I did have the Moonbelly variant. I did not see the Moonbelly variant on any of the eBays. Last sold was August 17th for $129. Nails with the Jailhouse Jab. Basically, he looked like Nails. Picture Nails and picture him in figure form. Last sold August 2nd for $269.99. Owen Hart with the Rocket Blast. New Foundation gear. Last sold August 14th for $120. A lot of these for $120 in that area, that ballpark.
Yeah, except for Nails. He's kind of the outlier here.
Yeah.
Was he short packed?
I don't know. My brain doesn't go back 30 years, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just wondering. Like, it's almost double what everybody else is. It's insane.
And the other thing is that a lot of people want to go back and get these signed. So Nails is doing a few more cons.
Yeah.
So
he's super nice too.
Yeah, met him this past year. It was at WrestleCon.
I got him on a my autograph thing was the WWF magazines. So on top of all the action figures, I have every single WWF magazine, and that's what I would get signed instead of the figures. I thought figure autographs are super cool too, but the magazines, just if we were going to a WrestleMania or something, they just fit in a backpack, and I could just slip them out and put them in pages. Yeah. So I had Taker on that magazine signed, and then when SummerSlam was in Detroit, we went to one of the WrestleCons there, and Nails was there signing autographs. So I had Nails signing. He's like, "Did Undertaker sign this too?" I'm like, "Yes." Then I went ahead and authenticated while he was there. Super nice guy.
Oh,
very cool.
Taker Nails Face to Face magazine that's autographed.
That's awesome.
Cool.
What kind of
pen
pen
do you use? I was just going to ask that. Yeah,
it's where our brains go. Oh, what kind of pen do you use for?
Well, this is before paint pens were super cool, but so Undertaker's on a Sharpie and Nails is on a paint pen.
Okay.
But the magazines aren't displayed, so I'm not worried about fade too much. But I used to get a lot of big autographs on the magazines. I still have a lot of people I will never be able to get again on the magazines too. So,
which paint pen are you using for those?
I think it was a pastel. We got a Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby pastel.
I know. Right before SummerSlam, my wife said, "Let's go to Hobby Lobby," and we bought a bunch of paint pens.
I watched a guy walk up to Roman Reigns with a WWF magazine, and he basically splooched his paint pen all over the cover.
Oh man.
He goes, this sucks. I'm mortified for the guy. And he's like, this sucks. He pulls out another one. He's like, I always bring two for this reason. So he junked the other one and brought this other one out, and he had a backup ready to go. I'm like, I wish I could do that with figures.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Shawn Michaels. Razor. I forgot Razor. Razor with the Razor Edge gold chain, last sold August 21st for $150.50 on 3 bids. And Shawn Michaels with the conceited Crunch double arm up and down, last sold was today. I apologize, yesterday, August 28th. Seller wanted $184.99 but accepted $125.
Wow.
I know. Dude took a almost a $60 hit on that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd had it for a while.
Couldn't have met in the middle at like 145 or 150.
Right. He took a $60 bath on that thing. Wow.
Seller's like, I just want rid of this thing.
I
don't like wrestling guy.
I don't like this hick and bottom guy. I got to get rid of him. Man, it's fun to go back and look at these and remember the good times of finding these. The yellow card was the last series we found at Toys R Us, Scott?
Correct.
And then the red card was the first one
after yellow. Actually, no, let me think. The last one I remember finding at Toys R Us is the Sid Justice series.
Okay.
It was Sid, Anvil, Virgil.
Okay.
But I don't think we didn't start buying them at that Village Toy Shop until the red card.
Yeah,
that was the first series we bought outside. So we must have found Series 7 somewhere. Maybe it was KB, but then that was it. Everything after the yellow card, we had to buy at a specialty shop because they just were not dropping at Toys R Us or KB anymore. We couldn't find them at big retail.
Yeah, we had to go over to Castro Village Toy Shop. The best is when you would pick me up from school, because I got out early on Mondays. You would sometimes have that big bag just sitting right in the...
that was your surprise.
Yeah. I get it.
You open up the door and boom, huge bag of figures sitting there. Yep. I'd be like, John called.
John called before I had to come pick you up. So guess what?
Yeah, because I usually had like a 3-hour break between when I got out of college and then when you got out of school. So I'd have like 3 hours to kill, go grab food or whatever. But it was usually go to a sports card store or Castro Village Toy Shop or Toys R Us. I'd do toy hunting and then come pick you up. And then every once in a while you'd get in, there'd be a big bag of figures sitting there. That was a good day.
That was a good day. Love those. And then you would always say, hey, you can open up all the Bretts. I just want to make sure I get these figures. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I just want to open up figures. Oh,
yep.
If only young Jeff could have talked to older Jeff. I wish young Jeff would have left a letter for me like Marty McFly did for...
You wouldn't have the same memories. If you kept those mint on card, you would not have the same memories of these figures.
I'd have memories.
You would, but they wouldn't be as good. I remember sitting in bed looking at this figure, mint on card.
Yeah.
And then I put it back on the wall.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome. That's so awesome.
So boring. At least our LJN fingers would still be intact.
That is...
They just start falling off the wall.
I remember when this figure fell off the wall and hit me in the head. That's the only memory I'd have, dude.
Hopefully it's not a Bundy.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
That's right.
And that rounds out the show. We want you guys to also check out WrestlingToyTracker.com. Over there, you can find Hasbro's, Galloob's, Just Toys, Bendham's, Defining Moments, and Retros. Over there, they'll give the 3-month carded prices, and you can go over there and check it out. See if you're getting a fair market value, which, man, I guess a lot of people were using Wrestling Toy Tracker on these figures, because remember during COVID, man, these were not 120, 125, 129.
No, not even close.
People were not taking a $60 bath on Shawn Michaels yellow cards, man.
No, no, definitely not.
They were taking baths with the money they made off Shawn Michaels yellow cards.
Right. Yeah. Things seem to have calmed down a little bit.
Just a tad.
A little.
During COVID, man, they were like Scrooge McDuck diving into the money bin,
How did not break every bone in his body?
I know it's a solid, not a liquid. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
he wasn't jumping into piles of cash.
Come on.
Jumping into coins. He would have been broken in half.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie would be scraping him up off that money, dude.
This is ours now.
Uncle did it again. This is great. Oh man. All right. Podcasting buddies. Check out the Rumble Wheel with Daniel Cross and Brian Breaker. Also check out the TB Toycast with Travis Fowler and Brian Breaker. Check out the PPW podcast. They're back from their hiatus and they're back better than ever, going over old school retro wrestling stuff. Check out the Stolen Gimmicks podcast where they go over current day wrestling, give their opinions on it. I love listening to those guys each and every week. In the Marbles pod with Soda and Ethan Scott. I'm not doing well in this fantasy league. I started to climb the ladder in NASCAR and then I plummeted.
You got lapped.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. It happens, dude. It happens.
I know. I didn't take 4 tires and fill up the gas can, you know?
Hey, at least you're doing good in fantasy baseball. There's that.
Don't jinx.
You're in the playoffs. You're fine.
I know, but my team's sucking up the joint right now, going in. So, anyways,
I'm not trading you, Judge, for Otani. I'm not.
Oh, why not, dude? Come on now.
Nope. I think I'm keeping Judge.
Fun fact: Aaron Judge is the only one over 700 points in our fantasy baseball league right now.
He's my hero.
and your keeper for next season.
And every season after that until he's done.
Also, check out the legendary wrestling figures with Brian. Scott, I sent you over the thing. You didn't give me a date.
You're right. Now it's my fault.
It's your fault.
I'll own it. Yes, it's my fault.
All right. Give us a date.
I have your information. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. Please do. Work the Arm podcast with Jeff and Jamie. And Jeff, thank you for being on last week. Pod Subject to Change with Nick Dunham and his son discussing wrestling from all eras, 80s to current day. Ryan Buds is doing Trivia Buds. We miss you, Ryan, out here in California, but glad you're doing well out in Tennessee. Check out the Chick Foley Show with Seth and Sheena. RJ at Ringside Rant. EJ and Rucker are doing Boot to the Face. Tim's pulling up a chair with the Fig Life, and Marty and Sarah love wrestling. Scott, roll call.
Yep, going to throw it out to Jason Wolf. Check out his custom chop shop on social medias at The Art of Jason Wolf. He does custom Hasbros, custom Galloobs. He paints figures. You name it, he does it. Custom chop shop from Jason Wolf on his social medias at The Art of Jason Wolf. And of course, go to TeePublic, search store name Starman and Jay. That will direct you to Steve's store. He has a bunch of goodies from all of your favorite podcasts. Go check him out. All of his proceeds every single month go to a different charity. It's always for a good cause because that's the kind of guy Steve is. Again, TeePublic, search store name Starman NJ. And Jeff, that runs out roll call.
Rob, thank you for being on this week, man. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I was like, the Summer of Dude Love thing, that was super cool. I'm like, I would love to be on the show just to talk figures with anybody. Like I said, I don't have anything to plug, just a super big wrestling figure fan and a longtime listener of the show.
Where can people find you on social media?
Rob Royce, Facebook. Rob Love His Life on Twitter.
Maybe he doesn't want people to know his social media, Scott.
Well, okay. That's fair. Good point.
You can filter them out, though, if I don't know who they are.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah. But no, thank you for being on, dude. It was great talking to you. Don't ever lose that feeling of, going out and hunt with your son. Don't ever lose that, man.
It's the best.
No, it is so fun. It is it's so fun to share your passions with your kids. It's just
absolutely
it's like being a kid all over again. So.
Exactly. Like, Scott and I have these stories that have lasted over 40 years of collecting. And, we love to just portray that onto here. And then we love hearing father and sons or, fathers and kids just going out looking for toys, even fathers and daughters going to finding, girls' toys, maybe even. Yeah. We love hearing that stuff. So,
or just going to wrestling shows. Like it's great being able to share your passions with your kids like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a blast.
Scott, for episode 449, anything else?
Stay safe, stay healthy. Fig Life since 2016. Rob, thank you so much for being on the show and happy toy hunting.
And Scott, we're going to do reviews when you get those belts in.
Yes, we will be for sure. Yeah, I'm super excited.
We got to film B-roll. I don't know
Chaos Wrestling Club.
Yeah, and B-roll film. I don't know what B-roll film is, but we're going to learn it.
Sounds like fun. I'm excited for B-roll also. Is that an MC?
Is that my morning deuce where the coffee pushes?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's the BM roll. All right. All right. You're gross, Scott.
Yeah, I know it's me. Sorry. I bring out the worst in you.
You do. You have for 45 years, dude.
Yeah, that's all my fault.
The younger brother is always the antagonist. Remember that.
And the black sheep.
Well, they like to proclaim it. All right. Rob, thank you for being on. I want to thank everybody for listening to episode 449. Hashtag Fig Life. Adios.
Yeah. Fullyposeable. Let's go. Jeff and Scott, the Toon Brothers, busting out the ring. But we don't take it out the box, MOC. Happy toy hunting, we'll see you next week. We're the OGs of WFP. Fullyposeable, thank you all for listening. It ain't no storyline, real life siblings. So everybody go and do your toy spotting. Hashtag Fig Life, adios from the Kings.